Welcome to Ask and Learn.
So here's the problem 10 for chapter 19, part A. This is asking if the minimum of the graph corresponds to the equilibrium. We know in a reaction, the system will tend to move to the lowest free energy possible. So from this graph, we can see that the lowest point is right here, and this is the lowest free energy. So this point is the equilibrium point of the reaction. So part A is true. Part B, this is asking at equilibrium that all A and B have reacted to give a pure C. From the graph, we know that this point is all reactant A and B, and this point will have all the product C. At equilibrium point, it's somewhere in between these two states, so all A, B, and C will exist in the system. So B is false. Part C, this is asking the entropy change of this reaction is positive or not. So by looking at the reaction here equation, we can see this is a synthesis reaction. For a synthesis reaction, the number of moles will decrease. As a result, there will be less disorderliness. So delta S will be a negative number, so this is false. Part D, this is asking if the X on the graph corresponds to the delta G of the reaction. This is true. This is because the delta G of a reaction only depends on the delta G of the product minus the delta G of the reactant. And this number X right here is the product minus the reactant, the difference. So part D is true. Last one, E. This is asking if delta G of the reaction corresponds to the difference between the top left, so top left is right here, and the bottom of the curve, which is at equilibrium. So we already know that delta G is the difference between these 2 points, which is the X value. So delta G will not be this value. So the last one is false.